is John Paul Rye. I'm coming to you from Tokyo, Japan. I had to cover this story. It's about a week old, something like that, but it's been on my mind. It says rumor, but you know what? I believe this could happen because it seems like these days there's no strong male characters. They're leaving untouched, unchanged, the way they were in the past, just kick ass. Batman leaves Gotham, Luke's a wimp, John Connor's killed in the first 5 minutes of Dark Fate. They play with Spider-Man being homosexual, and now they're playing with sexuality on Captain Kirk, one of the most beloved characters of sci-fi history. If not just fictional history, period. Now, if you guys remember, Kirk is supposed to be kind of a ladies' man, so I know some people didn't like the J.J. Abrams movies, or should I say some Trekkies, but you have to admit that I think J.J. did kind of get it right that a young Kirk would probably be picking up the ladies. He's in bed with 2 women, he's smiling and nodding at women when he's walking through the academy, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's no reason Kirk can't be a strong, heterosexual male, except for we've got this narrative, especially now, that's bad. I don't think so. I think it's great, and I think about, wild guess, 95% of men on the planet are like that. Maybe even a little more. So, probability says all these classic male heroes would not be turning over a new leaf on sexuality. Just by sheer probability alone. Even if it was just Spider-Man and Captain Kirk, what are the odds that those two would happen to be not heterosexual? A new rumor details that Alex Kurtzman and Viacom CBS will retcon the sexuality of Captain James T. Kirk in their newly announced Star Trek Strange New Worlds show. I'm sure that's going to be quite the spectacle. So they say it's going to be a spin-off of Star Trek Discovery, which we know people absolutely hate. I've watched it once to see what all the fuss was about because I do like Star Trek, and I was just cracking up at Spock. He walked in. They had, the Star Trek music a little slow, and it was so bad, I was just cracking up. I mean, I gotta admit, I was just cracking up. I mean, I couldn't take it seriously. I couldn't get mad. It was just that funny. He went on to explain how the show will embrace episodic storytelling. Obviously, we will take advantage of the serialized nature of the character and story building, but I think our plots will be more closed-ended than you've ever seen in either Discovery or Picard. Great, whatever that means. He elaborated, I imagine it will be closer to the original series than even DS9. I'm not a big Trekkie, but I think they mean Deep Space Nine. While Goldstein indicated the show will embrace more classical Trek values, a new rumor details Goldsman and company are tossing around the idea of including James T. Kirk in the show as well as making him bisexual. And if I'm not mistaken, they said they made Hikaru Sulu a homosexual. I guess that's more of a open book as far as his background, because I can't recall ever seeing him with a woman talking about it. I guess it was just like an open slate in that department, but it seems like there was no reason to do it. The cast, the way they were in the 60s, was absolutely perfect and fine. And diverse. And I mean, in a good way. It was diverse because it was a vision of the future when everyone came together. It wasn't diverse because they thought they needed diversity to impress someone or something. And then Simon Pegg, if you don't know him, he's in the business, used to be a Star Wars fan, something like that. This is idiotic though. He stated, and that was us as well. Why don't we change his sexual orientation, because that would be good to do that with a character we already know. He's already prejudged. Introducing a character because their sexuality felt a little bit too pandering. And then you have to set them up, and then you have to say, oh, by the way, I'm gay, and it's like, well, why? And what we've been saying the whole fucking time is that we want new gay characters, and we have nothing to complain about. Because people could be gay. That's great, that's fine, but we don't want you changing old classic heroes that have been around for generations to being now all of a sudden gay after being heterosexual. Then he goes on here, more of the bullshit, how it would be great if Kirk came out and said, hey guys, guess what, I'm bisexual. Hey guys, guess what? Franchise killer, stupid idea, pandering, SJW nonsense. Sorry to use some buzzwords, guys, but that's what it is. The Hollywood Reporter said, I'm delighted that there's a gay character. Unfortunately, it's a twisting of Gene's creation to which he put in so much thought. I think it's really unfortunate. And I gotta say the same thing, man. You know, Gene Roddenberry is a classic creator. He's a legend. There is no reason to consider this Star Trek because Simon Pegg or some other woke writer writes him as bisexual. It's meaningless. This is what I'm saying about Star Wars. It's not actually Star Wars. When you write a shit character like Rose Tico and the way they wrote Finn and Rey, you don't have to consider that Star Wars. Some of the ideas are so ludicrous that why does this guy have the right to change a legendary story of generations? He doesn't. He's a random guy compared to Gene Roddenberry. He's a nobody. So there's no reason you have to consider something a nobody wrote about Star Trek, or Star Wars by the way, as canon. That's why I don't like canon, because they're having complete nobodies write in things that change things that we've had in our heads for decades. There's no reason you have to accept that, and there's no reason you have to think of anything as canon because they own the rights. It's just controlling you, manipulating what you say, what you think, what you buy in some cases, so it's really bullshit. The canon is from Roddenberry or Lucas or Tolkien. That's it. Nothing else counts if you don't want it to. Because they're the creator. So how could someone like Simon Pegg actually add on to the story? He can't. Anyway, doing shoutouts, special thanks, things like that. You guys, let me know what you think down below. For the record, I've got nothing against gays. I'd love to see a great gay character, but not Captain Kirk, not Spider-Man, not Luke Skywalker, not Superman. It has to be new because these characters have been around for decades and decades and decades, and they don't need to be changed. We're done.
Central